everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome to yet another express review. Today I'm going to be showing you the first of quite a few diesels that I have to show you, but this one, as you can tell, is a Lima model. Now as far as I know, Lima has nothing to do with that Lima locomotive works in the USA, but Lima were quite a popular model railway company back in the 70s and 80s, I believe, and they were based in Italy and they mostly did diesels, and most people say that their diesels were pretty bad in terms of detail, but I say they're pretty good. The detail on them is pretty good, and they always run fantastically. They did do a few steamers, and I have some of those, but mostly it was diesels, and that is probably what they were known for. These days they're not really around too much, but you can still get their locos, and for good prices too. So this one is called Western Enterprise, and it's number D1023 in this very unusual desert sandy livery. And yes, I picked this up for 30 quid, which is a very good bargain, to be honest, for what you get. So without any further ado, let's get it out and I'll show you what it is. And I don't think I'll mention either that this is a Class 52. So there it is, the Lima Class 52. Let's get it out. It is a Coco, although you can only really clearly see the two wheels, so it looks... So yes, it's not a Bobo. So there it is, the Western Enterprise. A very huge locomotive, absolutely ginormous, and very heavy as well. Okay, so I'm going to review this for you in just a second, but first of all, here is a little bit of history on the Class 52. So the Class 52s were very large diesel hydraulic locomotives introduced in 1961 for passenger and goods work. 74 examples were produced between 1961 and 1964 for running on the western region of British Railways. The 52s were renowned for their speed, and they were easily capable of reaching 100 miles an hour even with a load. This example shows an experimental livery as it would have appeared in 1961, but sadly the class were retired between 1973 and 1977, and 7 of them in total have been preserved. So there it is then, the Lima Class 52 Western Enterprise. Now obviously with it being a Lima loco, you're not going to be expecting an awful lot of detail, and it certainly seems true that the body is just one big moulded piece and there aren't really very many separately fitted parts on that. That being said, the way that it's painted and also the way that the different details have been picked out with the paint makes it look like a much more detailed model than it is. But first of all, let's talk about the most interesting point about this, which was the livery. And I have to admit that the livery was part of the reason why I bought it, because it is just so unusual. So it is in this lovely sand colour, and I do really find that very attractive. And I don't know whether this was common with any other Class 52s in different liveries, but you have this golden lion here, which I suppose looks a bit like the British Railways crest, doesn't it? But that is underneath the cab on the right side of both sides of the locomotive. So that is interesting, but then you also have the Western Enterprise nameplate, of course, which actually looks like an etched nameplate, although it isn't. It is just a transfer on the side of the body. Similarly, the running numbers are very nicely applied to the sides of the cab there, which is a very nice touch indeed. And then onto the painted work, you can see the handrails here are painted into the silver, and also the glazed windows on the cabs have the painted windscreen wipers too. And on the front you can see there are warning signs for the high voltage, and again you have the running numbers painted onto the front there, but also you have the lamps and other things which are just part of the moulding, and those haven't been painted. Inside the cabs you can see that there is a fair amount of bolded detail in there, which is very nice to see indeed, and if you wanted to add more realism, I suppose you could put some drivers in there. But most of the moulded detail, which is very good by the way, is up on the roof as you can see, and there are grills and I don't know, all sorts of things up on top of there, which do make it look very detailed from above. But as you can see, not a bad loco. It has all of the glazed windows, and the bogies have plenty of detail on them. So for £30, how can you really go wrong? Well, let's see how it runs, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, let's give that a try. So there she is down onto the track then, alongside some other Lima friends, so I'll just introduce you to those very quickly. This one is a Deltic, and I don't think I can pronounce the name of it, but I'll try. It says the Fife and Forfar U memory. Goodness knows if I said that right, but that's what it is. And that one has some intercity coaches, so you won't be able to see them too well. And just in the bottom corner here, you can see this is a Lima Class 31. This is the Calder Hall power station. And when she gets off, you'll see that she has some empty wagons as well. But the Western Enterprise, she is going to be pulling some chocolate and cream coaches, which you will see in a second. But for now, let's get her tested at slow speeds. Alright, let's give her a tiny bit of juice then, very, very gently. Now these do tend to jump into life, but they are extremely powerful. There we go. So that is just about the extent of her slow speed performance. Let's try again. Right over the express point, by the way, so quite impressive really. Yeah, quite a good slow speed performance, to be honest there, I must admit. Okay, let's send her off forwards then. Ooh, a little bit abrupt there. And of course the Deltic. Is a Deltic a class 55? Oh, that's terrible if I don't know that. But there it goes. And finally then the Lima Class 31, and there you can see, well, hang on, and there you can see are her wagons. Okay, enjoy this running session and see which other diesels you can spot on your travels. Wow. Even though they're only models, you get a real massive sense of power. And these haul a big long rake of coaches, and I believe it's 6 or 7 coaches on the back of that one on the 52, so it really is quite the load. And she does it faultlessly, no wheel slip at all. There's the 31 going at quite some speed with her wagons, doing a very good job hauling those. And there comes the Deltic, which I think is a class 55, isn't it? Very embarrassing if it's not, but I'm sure one of you guys will tell me if I'm wrong about that. Absolutely brilliant runner though. And they all are, they all run on basically the same motors, and they're all very, very good. And the Deltic's a great puller as well. Lots of coaches there. But yes, the old Western Enterprise is a very, very, very good puller. Well, if you can hear me then, here are the ratings for the BR Class 52. Detail 6 out of 10, performance 7 out of 10, character 8 out of 10, build quality 10 out of 10, value 9 out of 10, so overall 7.91 out of 10, ranking her, let's see, 22nd, just above the Hornby 8F and below the Class 40 with TTS sound. And I think this Class 31 may have been my first ever diesel. It was either that or the Class 25, but I was always astounded at how much it could pull. It was my most powerful loco for a very long time. And it would have been my first Lima loco ever too, of course. Well, I've decided to put the passenger engines at full speed just while I say goodbye, just so that you can see what kind of speeds they can do. It really is very impressive, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing these. I've really enjoyed running them for a change actually as well. So if you did like the video, please feel free to leave it a like or even a comment, because I do love your feedback. And also, if you'd like to check out the Facebook and Twitter pages, please do. They're at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. It would be lovely to see you over there. But for now, once again, thank you very much for your company, of course, and I will see you all very soon. Cheers, everybody.